Let's start with Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT. Did you watch the Grammys last night? Charles?
You talking to me, bro?
Yeah.
I've watched it vaguely. I was actually looking at some games last night. I was looking at I want to see the Spurs play, and I want to see Oklahoma City play. So I actually watched, I'm just doing some scouting last night.
Most famous musician you've ever met?
Oh, I actually got a chance to meet Carlos Santana about Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life. It was really awesome to meet him in person.
Did you ever meet Prince?
I have never met Prince. It would be cool to meet Prince, though. I mean, I did see the part where he gave away the award, and he is royalty for sure.
I remember at the NBA Finals when the Bulls in the mid-'70s, mid-'90s, I should say, and Dennis Rodman, there was a loose ball, and Dennis Rodman went over to the side, and Prince was there with his bodyguard. Rodman starts trying to talk to Prince during the timeout, and Prince doesn't say anything. And then all of a sudden his bodyguard says something to Rodman that I later found out, if you want to talk to Prince, you have to talk to me, and then I'll talk to Prince for you. Because Rodman wanted to see if Prince wanted to go out later that night.
I'm not big on people going to third parties to talk to somebody. Nobody's that special. I met Jay-Z before, and he's a really terrific guy. So I met some really cool musicians in my life.
Well, you have, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But Carlos Santana to me was pretty special, meeting him.
All right, everybody talks about this Jay-Z thing where, since he's involved with the Nets, that guys are going to go there and play. Well, that hasn't been the case. So how much of an influence does Jay-Z really have on these free agents wanting to play in Brooklyn?
Well, I don't think he has a huge effect, to be honest with you. I mean, I think it depends on salary cap and things like that. It's like the Miami situation. If a guy wants to try to win a championship at the end of his career and want to ride on LeBron's coattails, and he's already made a lot of money, some guys might go there. But the Nets don't have much of a history in Brooklyn, so I doubt he has a huge effect upon that.
Who do you think is going to be dealt before the trade deadline?
I think there's going to be some trades, to be honest with you, because I think there's 5 teams that probably can win the championship. Well, I don't even know if there's 5 that can win it. I think one team could get in that mix if they make a trade. And it has a lot to do with contracts. Guys got to be free agents. But there's about 3 or 4 teams that can win the championship. But there's probably maybe 2 more if they made a trade, they could win it. I mean, only 5 teams can win the championship. The rest of them just out there playing for fun right now.
Who are those 5?
The Heat in the East, and the Spurs and Oklahoma City in the West. Those are the 3 teams that have a legitimate shot of winning the championship. And if a team, let's say Memphis, I don't want to count Memphis out. I think we got to give Memphis a chance. So there's 3 teams in the West and 1 team in the East. And the second thing, it depends on if Derrick Rose comes back. So those are the 5.
By the Heat winning that championship, Charles, it seemed to have taken the spotlight off of them during the regular season. Now it doesn't matter what they do during the regular season. You can see the Heat going through the motions. They know it's a long year. They understand it. But if they didn't have that championship, we would be micromanaging, analyzing, put them under an intense spotlight. And I think you're seeing this team realizing all we have to do is get to the playoffs. If we're the number 1 or number 2 seed, we're fine. We're going to the NBA Finals again. You agree?
I don't agree with that. I think that team is they're very small. And I just think LeBron James is so great. He playing at such a high level. He covers up a lot of their flaws. Because they are so small. They're in a great situation. They struggle more if they were playing in the West because there's much better teams in the West. I mean, you take away Chicago and Indiana, but there's really not any other good teams in the East. So that gives them an advantage. But LeBron is just playing at such a high level. I mean, he's the best playmaker. He's the best rebounder. He's the best defender. So he just covers up all their flaws. So that I don't think either everybody's going through the motion. They're not going through the motion. They just got some flaws that he covers up. And when they play against good teams, they struggle against good teams.
Well, I do think that they go through the motions a little bit. I don't think the intensity is there. Maybe not to the degree that I'm talking about, but I think you're seeing LeBron play at an extremely high level that we've probably only seen a handful of players play at this level. If you could compare what you've seen at his peak, if you consider this his peak, maybe you don't, to other players at their peak.
Well, I've already said I think the guy's one of the 10 greatest players ever, and he's in full bloom. I think when you're a great player, from 25 to 32, that's when you're at your peak. Because, those early years, you're trying to get physically stronger, you learn how to play. But I've always believed between 25 and 32, that's when you have all your superpowers. Before the age and stuff start kicking in a little bit. But he's in that range. I told you, I never thought I would compare somebody to Michael Jordan. But this guy, he's scary to watch. It's an honor to watch him play night in, night out. He plays with maximum effort. I mean, you think about it, that team, they went out and got Birdman because they can't rebound the ball.
Yeah.
But he's able to, go out there and dominate on the boards. He's their best defender, the best scorer, their best assist guy. It's pretty special to watch.
I've been saying it for years, and I know people didn't want to like him with what happened when he left Cleveland, but I said, you're seeing something we've never seen before. And having had the opportunity to be there at the end of Wilt's career, to see Oscar, to see Jerry, to see Dr. J, to see every one of these guys, what LeBron is doing has not been done before. And I said, enjoy it, because when it's all said and done, you're going to look back and you're going to be telling people you got a chance to see perhaps the greatest player to ever play the game. He may not be the most decorated, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a flaw in what he does.
Well, I don't think you can go by just championship, because you're going to go Michael Jordan's the greatest player. I think that's pretty much consensus. But if you were going to go by winning, you'd probably say Bill Russell. So you just can't go by the amount of championship guys win. But like I said, when I said it a couple of years ago, everybody's like, are you crazy? Because you just watch him play, you're like, this kid, wow, I've never seen anything like this from a physical standpoint. Now he's added mental stuff. Well, he went and worked with Akeem. And that's, to me, people talk about his game. When he learned how to post up and things like that, it just opened up his entire game. That's the thing he did that people are not even paying attention to. That's the advantage when you actually know something about basketball. When he learned how to post up, nobody can guard this guy now. Who do you put on? Do you put a power forward on him? No, they can't guard him because he's improved his jump shot also. And then you can't put a small forward on him because he's too big for all the power forwards. He's made tremendous progress in his game after he started working with Akeem.
Your take on what's going on with the Lakers with Dwight Howard now? His dad's involved in this. Kobe trying to motivate him. Pau Gasol, he's upset, unhappy. Well, what's the end game here?
Well, the Lakers ain't going to make the playoffs. And if they do make the playoffs, it's going to be the 8th seed, and they're going to get spanked by Oklahoma City the first round.
But bigger picture, though, for next year. Dwight Howard in L.A. next year?
I don't know that. First of all, I'm a firm believer that your dad, your mom, your sisters should shut the hell up. I do. I think, but like reporters, family members have to be smart enough to know that first of all, a reporter doesn't care about you. He don't care about your opinion unless you're going to say something controversial. So I always believe any family members should always shut the hell up and never say anything, especially like on Twitter. Twitter just giving insane people a gun. Nobody cares about your opinion unless it's controversial. And Dwight Howard's dad shouldn't have said that. But I think that it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen with Dwight Howard. I will tell you this. I've always been a big Dwight Howard fan. But this year, man, he's disappointed me, not from the fact he hasn't played well, just how his mental toughness just seems like I wonder if he's going, can he be, I've always thought he was a franchise player. I'm starting to wonder, though, because the one thing you got to do as a franchise player, you got to be tough. Because it's an enormous amount of responsibility. You have to take all the good with the bad. You don't get to whine and complain. You just have to go out there and take it. And they're beating you down. You just have to take it. And this is the first year that I've seen a kink in Superman's his aura, because he has not handled The first thing I would do, he should have already told Kobe Bryant to shut the hell up by now, or I'm gonna kick his ass. He should have did that because, as a man, there's only so many times you can call me out publicly. Now, if you call me out privately, okay, I can live with it. But as a man, if you keep calling me out publicly, I got to come back at you at some point. And that's probably the thing that, and listen, everybody, Kobe Bryant's one of the 10 greatest players ever. But I think he's crossed the line somewhat lately. When you start questioning somebody's toughness, talking about they should play hurt and things like that, you're crossing the line. But as for Dwight, at some point, Dwight has to say, hey, man, you need to shut the hell up and get off my back. I'm out here trying to bust my butt. I'm in pain. It ain't up to you. You ain't my coach. And that's probably one thing that's disappointed me the most about this whole scenario.
It's good to visit with you, as always. Did you bet on the Super Bowl?
I lost again, Dan.
Charles, what did
Lost every football game in the playoffs. It's sad.
Unbelievable. What did I tell you? Just give me your money. Just give it to me next time. I'll hold it. I'll hold it for you next time.
What? Hold it? What good is holding it? That's more money for my family to fight over when I kill over.
Well, it's a tradition unlike any other. You betting on the Super Bowl and losing.
Dan, I see. First of all, you're absolutely wrong. I had won like 10 Super Bowls in a row, but this was my worst playoff performance ever. I lost every game.
Are you retiring from gambling?
Yeah, until next season starts.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, listen, that's all football's good for, betting on.
Oh, did you see Jay Williams? Some of his comments?
Yeah, I heard about that. That's another crossing the line. Jay Williams, I like Jay Williams, but there's no need to tell that, man.
Well, he said guys were getting high before games.
First of all, listen, guys obviously shouldn't be getting high before a game, but there's no reason for him to tell that. There's no reason for him to tell that. You don't have to tell everything.
I was surprised that he said it. And then I was.
I just read it yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I was disappointed in him because what happens now is it's one of those things like, hey, listen, it's one of those situations, you got to come out and tell who was doing it because now he's put the whole team under the spotlight.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Were you ever around somebody who was high during a game?
Not during a game, but I played with guys. I'm not a big pot smoker myself. I think I probably smoked pot 5 times in my whole life. It didn't do nothing but make me want to eat potato chips. Yeah, I think you remember that commercial about potatoes where you just can't eat one?
Yeah. I
think anytime you smoke pot, all it do is make you want to eat a bunch of potato chips.
You never smoked before a game?
Never. And once I got to the NBA, I probably smoked pot twice. And that was like early in my career. I might have did it twice. I think I did it maybe once, two times in high school. It didn't do anything for me. And I'm not a big drug guy.
Well, it's good to visit you, as always.
All right, man. Be safe here.
All right. Thank you, Charles.
All right.
It's Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT.